Welcome to a Starter and a Chaser podcast with your hosts, Joe Clarke and John Passow.
You know it's time to clean out your refrigerator when the olives start to blink at you.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Hey, welcome to a Starter and a Chaser podcast, where occasionally we discuss cleaning routines for refrigerators.
He's not lying.
I am John Passow.
I'm Joe Clarke.
Joe, we are going to be reviewing something that was retired, but now is back. Stone Brewing Company's Sublimely Self-Righteous Black IPA.
I'm excited because I've never had a black IPA or an IPA from Stone Brewing.
That's true. We have had Stone, though.
We have.
In the episode
Mr.
with Chem.
Yeah, that's right.
And speaking of Chem, Eric Chmielewski, he donated this bottle specifically because he wanted to see what your thoughts were on a black IPA.
Thanks, Chem. Appreciate it.
But Stone Brewing Company, if you haven't heard about them, and if you haven't heard about them, where have you been? Because in 1996, it was started by Greg Koch and Steve Wagner. Their headquarters is in Escondido, California, which is just a little bit north of San Diego. I've been there a couple times. It is an absolute beautiful facility. Granite everywhere. They've got rocking chairs made out of barrels.
Oh, wow.
Really cool. And Stone is also the 9th largest craft brewery in the United States. So tell the folks about Subliminally Self-Righteous Black IPA while I pour this out for us.
8.7 ABV, 90 IBUs. Another thing is, it was retired in 2015.
Retarded?
Retired.
Oh, retired.
But thousands of letters from its fans were sent to Stone Brewing demanding its return, and it is now back in its original packaging, the original artwork, hopefully the original juice, and it was re-released January 4th, 2021.
So this is...
Wow, look at that. That's a dark beer.
Dark. It's kind of what you expect. No sediment in there, which is nice. What do you smell in there, Joe?
That is hoppy and citrusy. Not lemon. Kind of getting like a little orange zest out of this one for me.
Amarillo hops tend to have orange notes to it. Sometimes a little mandarin, but yeah, that kind of zesty, sweet orange note is what you get from Amarillo.
Earthy, grainy, not much maltiness to it, which I was going to kind of like hope for with that dark of a color. Not picking much of that up on the nose. It's got a nice head to it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems like a little thicker IPA than I'm normally used to seeing, though. A little sticky on the glass there.
Great head. The head is lasting
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
yeah,
this is
it
nice.
is. It really is. Nice
Well,
carbonation. Yeah.
Shall we?
Let's do it. I'm
Prost
excited.
to retired beers that come back.
Okay, Chem.
That's an IPA.
That is citrusy. Lemony, orangey, zesty,
Piney.
like the peels. It's very piney.
Grapefruit. Little
Yeah, it's got
earthy
some grapefruit.
spice.
It's earthy. It's a little spicy. So I took some notes too, actually, the professional tasting notes.
Oh.
And so it's like a dark milk chocolate, orange, raspberry, piney, which he said, I didn't pick that up on the nose, but on the flavor, for me, it's piney.
I don't get milk chocolate.
Don't get the chocolate. And tropical fruit, yeah, it's got tropical fruit. And I do get the coffee on the back end.
You do.
As this settles, the finish on the palate, I get the coffee.
Some of those professional notes from their website, you get, some of them not so much. And that's always the interesting thing, is like everybody has their own palate, and to say one person's right, one person's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's wrong. It's whatever you pick up is the right answer.
Yeah.
Unless like he picks up gym socks and I pick up tropical fruit, then something's
We got a problem.
wonky here. Yeah. I get a nice roast note to this. Black IPAs, for those that don't know the style, which Joe is one of those, just experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Black IPAs will have the black color of like a porter, but they won't have a ton of roast typically. Acceptable roast levels are either 0 to just slight. This one is got a little bit more roast than I feel it did when it was first released. And I feel it's a little out of style for the black IPA.
Really?
This has got a lot of burnt malt, like black patent malt that's been used in too much percentage in the mash bill. I mean, I'm getting a lot of roast on this where I didn't originally. So it's interesting. It seems like it's changed a little bit. You like it?
Yeah.
I mean, I like this too, don't get me wrong, but stylistically for black IPAs, I feel like this is a little outside of the guidelines.
That's interesting. So this will kind of be like my set point for me on the black IPAs. Now I have to try another one to
Oh, darn, you're
gauge
going to
that.
have to drink more beer. Yeah. But yeah, get that roast. I get that orange really starts to come on the finish. I mean, I get a little bit up front along with the piney, grapefruity, earthy, but that orange just really starts to build on the finish, which is nice and definitely
This
cool.
is pinier than any IPA I've had. The pine on this is like I've always struggled with that, especially on the palate, like tasting the pine. This is tasting the pine.
Absolutely, and that is from two things in here. Chinook tends to have a piney note. It could also have grapefruit and spice, but the biggest culprit is the Simcoe. That is just nothing but pine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's there. It's interesting. It's not my favorite note, but it seems to work well with this style of beer and all the different flavors. Maybe it kind of helps things more well integrate with this type
that
of
pine with the roast.
Balance everything out.
It's nice.
It is.
Definitely
Yeah.
nice.
I do. The roast for me is really on the back end. I get more of the pine and the citrus up front. Yeah. So I guess my final thought of this is I like it. It's really good. Yeah.
Joe's not a super IPA fan.
Not.
So to have him say that, really interesting. I wonder if that's what Chem was wanting you to try, because he knows you like porters, he knows you like stouts. This has got a little bit of that porter. Actually, it's got a lot of that porter roast in this. And so I'm wondering if he was like, maybe Joe might like this one because it's kind of a crossover.
They should totally do a barrel-aged version of this.
Actually, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Some of that sweetness from like a bourbon barrel would probably balance that roast out.
Yeah.
Greg, if you're watching, barrel age it. Do it. Come on, do it now. All right. Passow's final thoughts on Stone Sublimely Self-Righteous IPA. I feel like the recipe's slightly changed from what it was originally. I mean, it's got a lot of aggressive roast that is really building on my palate, and it's starting to get a little bit unbalanced for me. I mean, it's lingering and getting more and more burnt roast. So I kind of feel like it's getting more out of balance as it starts to warm. Is it still a good beer? Yes. Stone really doesn't do bad beers. I mean, it's far and few in between when they do. It's still good, but it's not quite what I feel they offered originally.
I can see where you're getting the more this sits out and I'm tasting this on my palate, even just sitting here not drinking it. I can see the over roasting it. I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, at 8.7% ABV, this does not drink like a big beer. This drinks like 6%er.
Easy.
I mean, all right, so that is our review of Stone Sublimely Self-Righteous IPA. If you agree or disagree, leave us a comment below. Chem, we want to know what your thoughts were behind donating this beer.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think I'm spot on? Do you agree with John's kind of assessment of this versus the old versus the current, or the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested in
Yeah, I will see you next time. Joe, we'll see you next time. And in between, I got to go clean out that fridge because I think the blue cheese is going to start doing a revolution against the cheddar.